I just want your papers, please.
Sir.
Salary don't enter. Yes, so and month never even reach chef. Na salary plenty, oh. No wonder I no gree collect Roger from my hand. Shut up, sir. I'm here to bail my younger brother. If it happen.
With good luck,
proper funding,
Training.
and cooperation.
If it happen.
Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and all right to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that your complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that your complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
Yeah, it's good to know that you are still there with us. And knowing that when there is life, there is hope. No matter how life is treating you, don't bother about it because God is still alive and God is keeping you. And God that is keeping you will certainly make room for you. Keep hope alive. My name remains Bright Solution Ono, and I'm out here for the press. And Thursday, and I have two gentlemen in the studio to do justice to these national dailies. Comrade Noah, how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning, Bright. Good morning, viewers. Welcome to a very bright Thursday morning.
A very bright Thursday morning.
God bless you all.
Comrade Udeme Afagadne is also with us. Comrade, how are you this morning?
I'm fine. Good morning, Bright. It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning, Atimi viewers at home. It's a clement weather in a Thursday for the press.
Yes, a wonderful and beautiful Thursday morning. Let's go straight to the headlines on these national dailies that we have here in the studios. The first one is The Nation. And The Nation newspaper have this on the banner headline, Tinubu ready for subsidy. Tinubu ready for subsidy withdrawal hardship soon. With the rider, President asked lawmakers to approve 500 billion palliative cash. Up there we have NDDC unveil plans for 10,000 jobs in Niger Delta. Vandals cut away second Niger bridge fittings. Very sad one there. Down here we also have Navy uncovered sabotage NNPC wellhead in River State. With the rider, oil head compromise, Reds to set up probes committee. Let's start with the vandals vandalizing the fittings in the Niger second Niger bridge.
Brad, this is very, very unfortunate. Like you always say that Nigeria is the only country that we have. And it's a few weeks ago, I said it here in this, I say every country is corrupt, that I'm entitled to that opinion. That our problem is not only corruption, it's patriotism and commitment to nation building. It is very, very unfortunate that people will just sit down and go and vandalize the just commission or Niger Bridge. They remove those metals, those manhole, and
don't you see it as an act of wickedness?
It's an act of wickedness. That's why it's act of unpatriotism. This is not corruption. It's high level of sabotage and unpatriotism. It's very wrong. I'm like they did here to over it's in the coming man flyover. You see, people will just go. I don't know why Nigerians don't know that this is the only country that we have. Why must you go and vandalize the second Niger bridge that has been that the past administration just commissioned and put in place? It's very, very unfortunate. I think we should discourage this from Nigeria. I think you see, the NCDC, that's the civil defense, are in charge of guiding national asset. I advocate that all the national assets, I think they should have security, so to man those places to save, to guide and secure our national assets, to avoid the recurrence of all these vandals, because it's just spending money that could be spent in doing others project. It will be used to go and maintain or go and do a remedial work in the second Niger bridge. Very, very unfortunate. So now civil defense should be on their toe, because it is a responsibility of civil defense to guide national assets. I think Nigeria should the security should release in the civil defense to all Nigerian national assets, to guide, to avoid reoccurrence of this.
Okay, I learned that before the construction of the new one, the old one, some fittings that were there like screws and nuts, and most of them very expensive, and people will have the mindset of going to unloose those screws.
Yes, they unloose
not minding whether the thing will fall. Comrade Udeme Farane, NDDC unveils plans for 10,000 jobs in Niger Delta. Will this bring a good development to the teaming unemployed youths?
Well, if they would do it in a holistical manner, where competence is competence merit is being used as a yardstick for that employment, not on man-no-man basis. Some individuals in the position of authority are so unpatriotic to this country called Nigeria because of their selfish interests. Nigeria is a sovereign country where all citizens have the right to participate or benefit in whatever that comes in as a benefit. If only, I repeat, that job would, go through the normal rudiment of merit, normal rudiment of scrutiny, normal rudiment of giving it to the people that are qualified, I think it will be a very welcome development. And if it will not be seen as a political settlement or political cronies of the government in power, of the party in power and all that, we should try as much as possible to be able to separate politics and governance. No matter the party in charge of the sovereignty of this country in the presidency, no matter the party that is in charge of this state as a governor and what have you, we should be able to separate leadership, governance, and politics. I don't want to hear about the issue of politicking on who to be employed and who not to be employed.
Who supported and who did not
yes,
support.
who voted and who did not vote for the party in power and all that. Quickly, to as an addendum to what my colleague have said about the sabotage and unpatriotic act of some Nigerians towards national assets. It has to do with the degradation of culture, norms, and value in a society. You cannot tell me that that asset is being, at a place where people are not living. We have community leaders. We have the chairman of local government of that area and all that. It is an act of, devaluing our system, devaluing our norms, because stealing, no matter how small it is, even in the Bible, the punishment that you steal a goat or I steal 1 naira, that's the same punishment that will be meted on somebody that steals a corn. And these were things that our parents used to discourage us completely. That is why we need to talk about, informal education, informal tutelage at home. Training. Things that parents ought to have, imbibe or inculcate in their children today. Those things are diluting. The values are diluting on daily basis. And when the home front is not properly put in place, the ripple effect of that would be the degradation of a society. The norms and values in society would be completely eroded. So when you see somebody going to destroy an asset that's supposed to be for the use of everybody, including a person that is vandalizing that asset, you now call yourself and ask a question: do we still have value for humanity? That's the question.
Do we still have value for humanity? That is the question we need to ask ourselves, and we need to take home. And for you as a father, what are you teaching what are you showing or teaching your children for their future? Because what you put in them is what they translate. Into,
that's right.
The upcoming ones.
Garbage in, garbage out.
And still on the nation, no more jobs for the boys, says Abia Governor Oti. No more jobs for the boys. What kind of jobs for the boys?
I was reading a book. They talk about, like my brother said, it's a leadership value chain. Leadership value chain is that it's not only, you don't even look at the president, because you have three vocal leaders, which is the president, the governor, and the local government chairman. Now you don't only look at the local government chairman or the governor or the president. Now you look at the leaders down the line, the civil service, the political, the state escorts. Now, if leadership value chain is not instilled in the society, such leader is being entrapped. Like the boys say, there's no more job for the boys. I don't know the boys what they are looking for, that what they want, because you see, like my brother just said, you see, some leaders will just come and share money for some boys to use to buy gun and do whatever they like, instead of putting a foundation that will create jobs for the teeming youth. You see, when you read the evolution, when you read the democracy of others advanced country, I read about Singapore, which you established for 25 years. It's not a tea party. So you need, like, what I like drawing attention to our state, like the Arise agenda, which the Excellency Pastor Moino is trying to instill. So when you have a foundation, which industrialization, infrastructure, agriculture, security, rural development, those things will create job by itself. You see, we have security in your state, investors will come and will be secure. You see, Nigeria has a very, very what that is demand. What is population? Population encourage demand. Because when you have a large population, anybody that comes to invest, we make his money from there. So I discourage the idea of say the boys using money go and share for people. At the end of the day, you go another person go and share money. No, create a system that there will be creation of jobs, so people will be engaged. You have the people. If you're a medical doctor, you have the health sector. It will be reformed. If you are a teacher, the educational sector, not trying to what you are having now. Everywhere is now, you don't even understand what is happening in Nigeria again. So I don't know what the boys, the job, because I'm not from Abia State, I cannot speak for them. I don't know which boys they say there's no boys for them, but I can only speak for Akwa Ibom, say which I'm living here.
Right.
That was about your boys are here.
Right, before I add as an addendum to what he has said, there was a very screaming headline on the Nation newspaper that talks about the remedy for the removal of fuel subsidy, which Mr. President has written to the National Assembly for an approval for 500 billion naira to be shared as palliative.
That's the headline.
Yes.
Remedy for subsidy.
Yes, we didn't talk about that. I have to say it. If I keep quiet, if I keep quiet here and leave the studio without saying this, that means I'm not patriotic to this country. I hold opinion of whatever I'm going to say here as an individual, as a citizen of this country. We should be able to decide and to ask authority questions, decide on what we want. Where you have these people, these selected individuals in position of authority doing things without minding the adverse effects on the generality of the people, it looks as if they are doing us favor. If you ask me, no one in government that is doing the other man favor. If you are not ready for service, there's no point of you campaigning looking for position of authority in offices. There's no point. It is only in civil service that you can say, I am on this position on merit because of your time years in service and your experience and whatever. But in public office, for crying out loud, people in authority in Nigeria today should know that they are there to serve the interest of the public, not the agenda. We've been talking about the issue of palliative in Nigeria. It's not working. It is not working. We've seen what happened during the last administration of His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari on subsidy on the palliative distribution in Nigeria. We had a ministry that was called Humanitarian Affairs Ministry, a ministry that the system themselves collided in defrauding Nigerians through a microfinance bank. How do they call it? Nasra Microfinance Bank. There were money that were meant, to be given to the poorest in Nigeria. There were money that were meant to encourage farming, to encourage artisans. There were money that were meant to encourage the poor of the poorest within this country, which no one has been able to tell us the data, how they determine who are the poor among the poor.
How our money was distributed.
And how those money were distributed. Now, Tinubu told us that he has been able to serve a whopping amount of 400 billion within the space of time that he has been as a president, and within the period where subsidy regime has been handed in Nigeria. And I believe by now he has been able to save 500 billion. For crying out loud, this administration and the presidential administration in Nigeria, there are hailing refineries in this country. Muhammadu Buhari told us about $1.8 billion were to be used in revamping Port Harcourt, Kaduna, and Warri refinery. And even within the last lap of his administration, the then Minister for State, Timi Presiya, that is running for governorship in Bayelsa State under APC, told us that before the end of that administration, that those 3 refineries will see the light of day. To today, we've not heard about it, and people are being paid.
But
workers.
He left the administration before the end of the administration.
That doesn't mean people like that should be called for questioning. Now today, there is a removal of fuel subsidy in Nigeria, and the Mr. President has told us that he has been able to gather about 400 billion, and up to
500.
now today is 500 billion, which is now writing to the National Assembly to give him approval to use that money as palliative. That is another way of defrauding the country. That money should be used if it is not enough to revamp our refinery, it should be used in encouraging individual independent marketers who are well-to-do to bring up modular refineries. We have some in Bayelsa State. There is a statement that I saw here on this paper where LCDC uncover illegal refinery in Bayelsa and in Rivers State. We should encourage these people to have sophisticated equipment to refine our crude oil. 500 billion is a big amount of money. If you ask me and you ask experts that are into that field, they will tell you that that money is good enough to put up to 2 or 3 modular refinery within this region. We should stop deceiving Nigerians, and Nigerians as followers should be able to ask these people questions because they are not doing us favor. I am not a supporter of this sharing of money in the name of palliative. Is another collusion of defrauding Nigerians, the poor Nigerians. This money are taxpayers' money. Your money, my money, and our money. It doesn't belong to anybody. So nobody is doing us favor. We should ask questions. We have representatives at the level of the National Assembly, both the Green Chamber and the Red Chamber. We should be able to put a proposal to each of our representatives to say no to this approval. We don't want it. We don't want it in Nigeria. It's another form of defrauding this country. So many, just yesterday, I heard the Senate President that is saying within a committee, I think a particular committee, to investigate the last palliative from Nexra Microfinance Bank in a tune of whooping amount of trillions of naira. And today, the same house that wants to scrutinize, investigate the previous administration on how they shared the palliative, Mr. President is now writing to them again to ask them to approve the sharing to their pockets another 500 billion. We should say no to this.
How do you know that it's sharing to
I said I am entitled to my opinion. If I leave the studio, they can ask me.
To add to that, I have an information. You see, if last week, sorry, I was not in the studio. Do you know, brother? I read a paper. Do you know NNPC said that since 2016, that federal government don't remitted subsidy You know what he's talking. He has 2016 that he was not remitted. And two, do you know that this 500 billion naira say palliative is putting the horse before the cat? We have always said it. If you want to put machinery in place, you're supposed to put it before you remove the subsidy.
Okay, let's go to another story. This one concerns a lot of us and all of us. Yesterday some were talking about this, how the youth president have become too powerful than the chiefs in their communities. And here comes a report on the nation. It says youths banished 28 chiefs from Bayelsa community. Youths banished 28 chiefs from from the community.
You know the youth.
Why are the youth presidents becoming more powerful than the chiefs?
You see, it's a degradation of values in the society. It's talk about, when we were small, in fact, if your father says sit down there, you don't sit down there. When you come back, you know what you will receive. You see the problem, the degradation of values in our society. Now, how can you see? I don't like. I am entitled to the opinion that I want to say here. Do you know that? Brian, let us be very, very frank here. Look at the chief that they are giving chieftaincy title in those Niger deltas. A known militant has become only chieftaincy title. I don't want to mention their name.
Talk about our own here.
No.
In villages, when you go,
let's talk about that by first. It's not from here. It's not from here. The report is not from Akwa.
It's what is happening.
It's happening, but I want
listen. They say youths banished 28 chiefs
in Bayelsa
from Bayelsa community.
Yes, I want to talk about that, but I don't know.
You also know that there are youths in our own community that are working not hand in hand, but side by side.
Pastor, I am a village man. I am a local man. I come from a village. Maybe you would, I don't know, because you people are from township because of the Portuguese first land in your people. I am from a village. Let's talk about this one. I will talk about the one we have here. Now the issue is, I don't want to mention names. Look at the people that they are giving chieftaincy titles in those Niger deltas. A known militants are becoming paramount rulers, has become very, very prominent first class chiefs. How do you expect they will recruit militants? That's the problem that we are having. Then coming to here, you see, those things, the same thing you said, we discussed with a friend the other day, we were talking off camera. I says, sir, when you go to the village, the level of drugs abuse in our community is so alarming to the level that if something is not checked, we will not go to community. All of us will just live in this town, or what is happening in the northeast, all of them are living in Abuja. Nobody goes to their village again. So something needs to be done. Why? What is need to be done is let us try to instill values in our system. I said here, if I have opportunity to go to the National Assembly, even the State Assembly, I will sponsor a bill. You know the bill I will sponsor? Any underage that is being arrested for any criminal vice, the father and the mother will be sentenced to 6 months imprisonment without a fine. You know why? So that parents will give birth to children which they can care for.
And they can also control.
And they can control, because the problem is, if you have a minor of 10 years, a minor of 12 years that's been involved in armed robbery, you hold the father responsible because he cannot take care of the children. We were not born from a family that our father was very rich. We born from most of us from humble. Even people that become leaders today with the highest profession were teachers, but today they are governors because of the training they had in their families.
Something is happening in the house. The nation says T-shirts to jeans wearing lawmakers sent out of House of Reps chambers. I think this is a good one.
They didn't mention a member yesterday.
You don't need to mention the member. It's for them to also know that where you are going to make law, and you need to dress well. Yes. Because the appearance,
and they have a law there. They have a law that covering dressing in their.
Okay, for those who are watching us, federal government states to partner on electricity with a rider. Only 53% of electricity capacity utilized. In the New Telegraph, oil thefts, Navy uncovers sabotage wellheads in rivers. Senate probes development banks of Nigeria, other loans payment. World Cup rep summon NFF over Super Falcon unpaid allowance. Board compositions. Governor commends Tinubu multi-partisan approach. Osun Assembly repeal state anthem. Crest flag law. I think this is where we need to draw the curtain. But before then, Samuel Low inaugurates Lagos Council of Oba Chief. I think this is happening in Lagos.
On the lighter note, as we are leaving, I want to talk about that headline that has to do with the federal government, coming together with the state to see how they can end this incessant power.
I think that's a good one.
That's a good one. And we saw the governor of Akwa Ibom State.
And we have been agitating in this on this very platform.
Yes, you know that power was under the exclusive list of yes. And today it has been unbundled. It has been unbundled. And Akwa Ibom State, through the kind of visionary leaders that God has given to us. You want to talk about Obonfi Tota, Gospel of Babio, Ray Emmanuel that just left, and today we have Omoino as the governor. Last week he had a walking tour on that establishment, Ibom Power Plant. This is an establishment where Akwa Ibom money were used in establishing that plant, that establishment. And if you ask me, from the day of the establishment and up to now, the Akwa Ibom people has not been able to benefit maximally from that power plant. And the governor is about to rejig the management cadre in that establishment. My advice is this: if we want to get it right, we should drop every parochial sentiment when it comes to selection of people that has to handle that establishment. I know about some few individuals, which I don't want to mention their name, who were there already. We have to scrutinize and ask, check their past record. What have they been able to put in place from the time the opportunity was given to them to man that establishment? And going forward, what are those things that we should use to qualify the new hand that we want to bring on board? If not, it's still going to be a story. It's still going to be a story that power has been unbundled and state and even individual has been given approval to generate, transmit, and evacuate. So I give it to Mr. President on this, and I also give it to our governor, His Excellency Omar Obasi Eno. My advice to him this morning, and I know he's hearing me, that as he tries to put in place Ibom power plants that will be beneficial to us, he should drop all sense of politics down, so that the Akwa Ibomites, at least, we can have a steady power a steady power supply. You don't know what that would do to artisans. I've been coming to this studio time with that number, and most of the time we will be having issue of power. That alone will keep Akwa Ibom State Television on toes 24 hours without having issue of light. So we should drop every sentiment as we go forward. Thank you very
so
much.
I wish we were having an interview this morning. I would have asked you whether you are interested in becoming the chairman of the power plant.
No, it's an advocate. It's an advocate because they want you to have light.
This is where we are going.
It will inflate the economy.
Donald, thank you so much.
Thank you, viewers, for listening to us.
For your good advice to the government and to the people. And for those of us and those people who are vandalizing the second Niger bridge, please. And not only the second Niger bridge, when you walk around those bridges that were made with the taxpayers' body, with the innovation of the governors, please, it is dangerous. Don't do it. God bless Akwa Ibom. God bless all of us. My name remains Bright Solution. Please stay tuned. ID will be coming with guests. But before the coming of ID, the inspiration man is in the house to motivate you. Stay tuned, please.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's another privilege to be here on a Thursday morning to inspire you. I remain Sam Inspiration. I'm here to talk on what I tagged becoming socially intelligent. Becoming socially intelligent. Let me start by saying that social intelligence entails planting so many seeds today so you will have what to harvest in future. And the best place to plant these seeds, it's in human hearts. Planting seeds, it is not wisdom to pray for harvest. All you need to do is to cultivate more hectares. Cultivate more hectares, not praying for harvest. And by the time you've cultivated these hectares, harvest simply becomes automatic. And like I said, for you to plant these seeds, it has to be in the heart of man. How do you plant these seeds? Yes, you plant the seeds of love, you plant the seeds of good feelings, you plant the seeds of sowing into human emotion. So social intelligence says, keep investing into lives, because they may be the ones that are housing what you will need in the future. The things you will need in future, they are actually with men. And what do? Sow into lives, because they house the things you will need in the future. It is not right for you to endanger your neighbor's life. I believe you do know this, that you can live without your friends, but you can't live without your enemy. Social intelligence says you need to see how you can live the good life. Live, let us live should be the motto of your daily existence. Social intelligence says you should treat files carefully in the office. Files are not just piece of paper, as it were. They are human lives, and therefore if you are in opportunity to handle files, ensure that you are treating them carefully. Social intelligence says that instead of being the virus that will destroy people's immunity, then you just have to desist and become the vaccine that will prevent them from diseases. Social intelligence says instead of being the darkness that covers people's effort, then become the light that they can shine through. Instead of being the darkness, then become the light. Instead of being a pest that destroy their crops, that destroy their life, then become the pesticide that prevent rodent in their farmland. Social intelligence. Social intelligence says, be the bridge that connects people to the opportunities, instead of being a wall that bar them from opportunities. Social intelligence says, learn to learn from others. This is very instructive. Now, we are told through social intelligence to stop pretending to be okay. Yes. If you know you need help, social intelligence teaches that you should call out for help. Now, I believe that a problem that is shared is half solved. So social intelligence says, don't assume to be fine. Don't assume to be okay, so that those that can help you can actually come in to help you. Social intelligence teaches that don't be a lone ranger in the journey of life. The most important things of life, they are not done alone. In the place of social intelligence, you learn to share your decision with people, so you can be guided and you can be shown the way to do what you need to do. Every man, every woman that you've seen around the world are product of people's input. Yes, everybody is tapping, is drawing from somewhere. Everybody is actually learning from the next person. So what do? Humble yourself. Social intelligence says, humble yourself to learn from